Greetings, I'm Tsako Jacqueline Mashego, and today we're at the University of Stellenbosch attending the National Boys Parliament, where the National Men's Parliament have given the National Boys a platform to amplify their voices, to speak on their demands and tell them what change they need, because the ones who hold the keys to the systems, to the policies, are the ones who need to hear their demand first hand. Now the boys will be here speaking on their demands, speaking on their struggles, and having plenary discussions, asking one another questions and answering one another in order to form a brotherhood and a system where they all feel supported by one another, especially being supported by the National Men's Parliament. So join us as we are part of this powerful movement and change being made and history being made at the first annual National Boys Parliament.
Ilkuni nalindlela inde impumeleli yasetshenzela ipheso kwinalindlela inye abenzima nokubekezela ilkuni nalindlela inde impumeleli yasetshenzela ipheso kwinalindlela inye la lumona ukusesenze kahle umnyango sobona nawe lendi ngawe indlela idlala ikhona noma ungenze njani umnyango sobona yonke indimi ngawe yeke la lumona ukusesenze umnyango sobona nawe lendi ngawe.
We are saying, instead of wanting to die and give up your life, you must rather live for your community. You must rather want to make a positive contribution in your community. I could have followed my dad. I had to go and live at a children's home in Athlone because my dad abused drugs. And then my older brother followed in my dad's footsteps. I could have followed, but there were older people that mentored me, that helped me. So we must always be aware that the choices we make today will affect our destinies for the rest of our lives.
Understand issues differently and work fervently towards a wholesome future for the men's sector and others. Now you may be asking, what about the girls? They're already governing. The girls are already governing. The women are already governing. So here we are asking the question, what about the boys? The boys must now step up. And I think that's why we brought on along stepping stones to step up. Since we have reached this juncture, let me express my thanks to Professor Dayasi and his team that included Triple S and others for having been the drivers behind this project. And thus we should thank them for their valiant efforts amidst the challenges that they faced in getting this project off the ground. Also members of the political office of the Deputy Minister, we are here now and we observe that the project is underway. And now in my capacity as a DM, the Deputy Minister, also as a member of the Leaders Forum of the Government of National Unity, and Sanak's patron, consider this event as the official launch of the National Boys Parliament. It is my great honor to launch the world's first boy parliament, South Africa's first boys parliament after 30 years of democracy. This National Boys Parliament is launched on the 18th of October 2025. And I declare this session officially open. Start governing, get to work. Thank you very much.
As boys, we are not being supported enough in our homes. Our parents, whatever we are doing, they get to not to support us in what we be wishing to do. So we end up doing going to places like taverns whereby we experience violence that is influenced under the substances. So going to the academic pressure. So academic pressure talks about the problems that we are having when we are studying. So if ever we are not getting much information in schools, sometimes we are learning in different ways. So in that way we can learn online, use social media accordingly. So societal expectations talks about us as young men that when we have problems, we are not speaking out loud. We are not sharing the problems that we are having. We keep them to ourselves, thinking maybe it is a good thing to do, and it is not, but then it works for us. In the meantime, women are not understanding us enough. So that's why we are here today, to make them realize that we as boys, we as young men, what are we doing when we are under pressure that they are putting us in?
Boys now understand how to prevent the spread or minimize the spread of HIV. As boys, we know what can expose us to HIV and teenage pregnancy. Implication of respect towards women. Boys now respect females and understand their value. Secondly, they are against GBVF, meaning gender-based violence and femicide. Moving on to sexual rights and responsibilities. Now boys understand the meaning and concept of communication, and they respect others' boundaries. And no is a no. Stigma of LGBTQA+. We as boys in Mpumalanga departed from the stigma of LGBTQA+. We in Mpumalanga have the best MC by the name of Diva, part of the LGBTQA+ group.
We can't just have problems. We have to have solutions. Yes. So, I want to say, boys, cry. Yes. Express your feelings. You are not used to doing so, but you show that you have value and principles. Drugs is not a coping mechanism. It is a psychological entity that comes to kill and destroy. Boys shouldn't break each other down. We should build each other up, we should uplift each other and support one another. Now I want to come into the role that schools have to play. Schools need to implement peer support groups. What I've noticed, especially in our school, boys feel comfortable talking to their friends with their problems. So, if schools can implement peer support groups where boys counsel each other, that would be a nice thing. At least they'll be able to get the burden off their chest. And believe you me, that's the first thing I'm going to implement once I return to Kimberley. Yes. That's the first thing. Another solution I came up with. Organizations need proper funding to assist young boys in our communities with proper equipment and aid mechanisms. Organizations who work hard, like Ekaya, for example, they manage. The money is little, but they manage. Imagine what big of a difference they can make if they just had more funding. Then, I want to come to the part of government. Honorable Deputy Minister, the MPs, if I'm correct, they come up with the laws, right? And what I've noticed is that children these days have too much rights, and they're abusing these rights. Dear Deputy Minister, they're taking advantage of the situation because in a class, a teacher doesn't have the right to raise their voice. They should walk out, go cool down, and come back. For one learner, disrupting. And most importantly, boys, you need to be advocates for change. Yes. And resist temptation. Be the burning flame that ignites the dead limbs. Be boys. Be free. Be responsible. Stand up against drugs. Advocate against social norms, as they are the root causes of our lost generation. And be a boy not only for yourself,
Be a responsible boy for others as well. Abstain from unhealthy coping mechanisms and unhealthy sexual practice. And go out and help your fellow brothers. I'm sure you don't want to celebrate Father's Day at the age of 16, 15. Yeah? Your father's still celebrating it. Wait until your time. There's enough time. The Boys Champion for Change program is a truly remarkable program, and it's a wonderful opportunity for boys to truly be boys. And I want to say, don't be a champion just today. Don't be a champion just over the weekend. Be a champion every day. Be a champion for change every day. I want to say, forget the norm. Leave the toxic friends who influences you to do wrong. Don't give in to peer pressure. In Yellow, you learn 100 ways to say no, but you still don't say no. Don't give in to peer pressure and stand up against gender-based violence and bullying in our schools and our community. Be the voice of the voiceless and be the champion for change. I thank you.
So let the Boys Parliament be more than just a platform for discussion. Let it be a movement that raises young men who know their worth, who protect rather than harm, who lead with empathy, and who understand that strength is not in silence, but in speaking. As girls, as sisters, and as future mothers, we stand beside you, not behind you, not in front of you, but beside you, ready to build a South Africa where every child, boy or girl, can walk freely in safety and in confidence in purpose. Because together, we are not just shaping conversations, we are shaping the future.
Right now, I am seated with one of the esteemed honorable... Oh, shit. Sorry. What is it? Honorable members of the Boys Parliament. Askis, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Right now, I am seated with one of the esteemed honorable members of the Boys Parliament. May you please introduce yourself to us?
I'm Shaden Bazaidanov, all the way from the Northern Cape, Rodapan High School.
So, tell us, what do you think has to be done to give boys more support?
Well, to support boys more often, boys find it comfortable to talk to their peers instead of going to a grown person who will judge. So I think that with schools, they can implement peer support groups, whereas by boys get supported by their peers and they have a person in the same age group they can speak to about their problems just to get the load off their chest. See?
So, when we look at the challenges, what challenges do you think boys face in South Africa?
Well, there's a variety of challenges, but making the top of the list, it's gangsterism, it's drug misuse, it's the inability to express their emotions. So those are one of the greatest challenges boys face, and unfortunately, it's a daily occurring thing.
So, there was a lot of talk in terms of substance abuse. So, what programs do you think can be created to stop substance abuse amongst children, especially boys?
Okay, so first things first, I think the recreational programs should be implemented for the boys in order for them to be busy, partake in those particular programs in order to limit time for them to think of some things that are not good for themselves. So I think that particularly when the government can offer fundings or proper fundings for those particular groups and recreational groups like sports, like dance challenges, maybe competitions, some sort of, and debates, some things like that over the holidays might help a lot.
Right now, we are with one of our esteemed honorable members of the Boys Parliament. May you please introduce yourself?
Greetings to each and everyone. My name is Kyle Silas, and today I was the presiding officer in the Boys Parliament. I was directing the program today, and I'm from a local high school in Manenberg High School.
So now tell me that what message would you send out to national leaders in order for them to support boys more?
Uh, you know what? Many of times when we are told things, we are instead of seeing what is happening, we are rather than told things from people in higher power. They rather make statements and not back up their statements. So my message to the people in higher power in our government would be to back up with actions the statements that they are making, so that we as boys can feel more reassured to what they are saying, so that we can feel that we have someone behind our backs, someone supporting us, and with more power in this world. Because we as boys, our voices are limited to a certain extent, even though we try as much as possible to let our voices be heard. So I advise the people in higher power to back up their words with actions, to not just make statements and leave it to let the return void. So we would kindly revise, and I would urge each and everyone to listen to our cries as boys. Support the statements that you make as a person in higher power. Take responsibility. Thank you.
And how do you feel seeing the first annual National Boys Parliament happen? Do you think that this is the step in the right direction?
Yeah, definitely, because this boys' parliament has been one of the topics that has been floating around in parliament, in the men's parliament, everywhere. So being part of the first annual boys' parliament I feel honored to be part of it, because it's truly something that's coming alive, a statement that is coming alive, and a statement that many of us struggle to see happen. But now, finally, when it started happening, I am truly honored and proud to be part of it.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.